Here.
Mr. Nelson.
Here.
Rayner. Here. Mr. Tonser.
Yes.
Ms. Mossman.
Here.
Mr. Koenig. Ms. Hefner. Here. Mr. Wagner.
Here.
Mr. Hayes.
Here.
Chairman Little.
Here. Minutes were provided in the packet. Is there any corrections, additions, clarifications?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes be adopted as printed.
Motion by Mr. Kruger to accept and approve the minutes as presented. Second by Mr. Tonser. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Audit of the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Claims Committee met before the meeting, and we come up with $108,996.78, which $3,749.89 was board pay. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Heitzik. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Drainer. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Ms. Kerback? Yes. Mr. Heitzik?
Yes.
Mr. Knelligan?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonser?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman?
Yes.
Mr. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Kruger?
Yes.
Public comment. Public comment, questions?
As of today, we have a fairly large health crisis coming our way. And even though it's not really hit here as such, the problem's going to be is that once it gets here, it's been here for several weeks. So in Jersey County, if there's 20,000 people, if the death rate's 1%, there's 200 people. If the death rate is higher than that, every percent, it's another 200 people. The problem is that there's no rhyme or reason as to how people get sick other than the virus causes it. So think about it. Every time you hand your credit card to someone, every time you stick it in a machine, every time you touch a button on an ATM, press it on a gas pump, every time your finger touches something and you stick that back in your pocket, this is a lot more virulent than the flu is. It's more different than a regular cold. The county board in Madison County and in other counties is putting things together to make sure that people are taken care of for worst case scenarios. And as much as we all like to have faith that, well, you know, we believe in certain things just because we have faith in it, there's a time that you have to believe in science and believe that worst case, certain things could kind of happen. The population isn't going to die off, but there's probably going to be about 15% of the people in this county that will get extremely ill over time. So you have two choices. Everybody gets sick at once, and a lot more people die because how many ventilators are there at Jersey Community Hospital? And if they don't have them there, where are they going to put them? That's the mitigation that people are going to have to do to stop it from overwhelming the system. And you as a county board have an obligation to put everything in place and to start making people do things. For example, maybe people don't need to go visit people in extended care facilities right now because the death rate in those places is huge. Nobody's sick yet, but once they get sick, it's too late to do anything. So as long as you guys have been, you know, what to do economic development, for example. Right now, economic development, yeah, it's important. But the most important thing that this board can do is to make sure that the safety and the health of the residents that live here are taken care of. Because there's a bunch of you on this board that are over 50 years old. And if you're over 50 years old, the outcomes are not near as good. And if you're over 60 years old, they get worse. And if you're 70 years old, the outcome's pretty dismal. Sometimes kids get it, they don't have a lot of problems. But it's not 1/10% or 1/2% like a normal flu outbreak will do. This actually is so bad that Italy has shut down essentially. So it's gonna affect a lot of people worldwide, and it's gonna be here eventually. The flu epidemic, I'm old enough to remember that people talked about it when I was a kid, that Uncle so-and-so died. The same thing will happen here. You will know people that this will affect, and it will not be good. So with that being said, I would ask the county board to put together a task force in the next couple of days to help the sheriff, for example. Sheriff's got a whole bunch of people. He's got a house. What do you do about the courthouse? Every time somebody grabs that door, every time somebody picks up a piece of paper, grabs a pen, that's what spreads this disease. So with that being said, as much as economic development's important, you've already put a couple $100,000 into that project, and it's stalled because of not having an entity to have the money to flow through. There's been enough money thrown at that thing so far that you could have done that on your own and managed everything instead of relying on Jerseyville to do it. So with that being said, I don't have anything more to say, but I hope that you understand that what could happen in this county is going to be devastating to a lot of people. It's going to harm the businesses because they're not going to have revenue. It's going to harm the people that live here because some of them are going to die. It's going to harm them because they're going to be in the hospital. So you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. This is not flight of fancy stuff. This is going to happen here. And thinking positive about it and washing your hands is not going to fix the problem.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. If you would give your name, please.
Hi, I'm Chris Reynolds. I don't do concrete. I live in southeastern Jersey County. We've been here for 3 years. We moved from Madison County when we were kids to Williamson County in southern Illinois, back to Macoupin County, and we've been in rural Jersey County for the past 3 years in the southeastern portion of Picel Township. Something my wife and I never considered exploring the nation, exploring southern Illinois, was the fact that we wouldn't have data services. This past few years, we have had access to CAF funds, and I want to know if the board has any feedback from U.S. Rep. Rodney Davis's office for connecting us to remote services for Picel Township, Southwestern School District. I'm a professional educator. I'm a graduate of an undergraduate program at SIU Carbondale, top 1 in the nation, top 3 in the nation for workforce education and development. Had I known I didn't have access to data services that everybody in this room, including the board members, are paying for, I would not have moved to where I'm at. I love the view, I love the peace, but being able to do things like build videos for classes, I'm a technical educator. One of my students is sitting back there right now, Mr. Bollinger, who works probably 65 hours overload every week, right? I want to know if anybody on the board has worked with Rodney Davis's office to focus CAF funds in the parts of the county that don't have access to data services. We're in a zone right now between Illinois Electric Cooperative, who runs north on Tutkin Lane, and we've got access, who we have south? Not MJM, it is AT&T. We're in this no-go zone for data services with HughesNet. It's $70 a month. All of our customer service comes out of Monterrey, Mexico. I speak a little bit of Spanish because I'm a third-generation American, but it's very difficult for me to understand how I pay $70 a month for services that don't compete with services that we are all paying for 4 miles one way or less than a mile the other way. So just wanted to know if the board had any information on the CAF fund for phase 2, what's going to take place in our part of the county.
I've had just an elementary conversation with one of Congressman Davis's aides on that. I've also had a conversation to some a little more extensive with Sherry Albrecht with JEDC, because that will be an important part of the development project here. But if you would, if I could get your name and address and contact information, see what.
I believe, I know there were about 160 households that were presented for expansion. I don't know if it was GTI or another provider. I've spoken with GTI and numerous other service providers in the region. They don't know where the funds are going to be distributed within the county. My brother lives in Otterville, but he's in the same boat. And so I'll leave you my info. I do appreciate your guys' guys' time.
And you can keep,
Can you repeat the acronym you're using for the funding? Pardon my ignorance. What fund?
Connect America Fund, and this is phase 2. I believe it was established in the last 2 or 3 years at the federal level through the Department of Agriculture, and it's being distributed through Congress to local service providers. I think the service provider, you recall, Mike?
Sorry.
The local service provider, I think they're based out of Eastern Illinois, that is receiving funds to expand. GTI, I've discussed with them, I think they're reaching data lines out to 111, 267, and 16. We're just south there off of Tukin and Crystal Lake, and we're at the point where my kids are in Southwestern School District. If we go just a hair north, they're in Jersey County School District. My kids are assigned computers I have to pay for, on top of paying $3,700 a year for property taxes. They don't use the services that we're already paying for as a taxpayer in that part of the county. If I go a little west, if I go a little north, if I go a little east, I've got access. But I can't do basic things like respond to emails if the stars aren't aligned perfectly or if there's clouds in the sky. We're probably all there. I'd imagine a lot of the people on the board are. We've had this meeting before with Congressman Davis, I believe at the Sheriff's Department, months back when he came to visit with a survey we collected from our part of the township where we're located at. We just want to know if there's going to be any response in the more rural portions of the county for accessing those services that we're paying for with no service.
okay.
So, but I'll leave my info, and I do appreciate your guys' time.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Nothing under old business, new business. Amanda Cole.
Hello. The first item that I need your vote on is on June 30th, 2020, will be the second year of a 3-year lease. We entered into that lease July 1st of 2018, and then there was a 1-year automatic renewal, and I came here last March, and you guys agreed to let us stay, and this is the second 1-year renewal, so I'm asking if we can stay again, and then next spring I would come to set up a new lease. Do you guys have any questions?
This is the lease.
That is the copy of the lease.
This is the item.
We are housed just down the street a little ways, in the same office as the Regional Office of Education, right across from the jail.
And this will be for,
The second 1-year renewal ending June 30th of 2021.
any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve that
All right, motion by Mr. Buck. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Wagner. Now, any additional questions? Okay, hearing none. Call the roll.
Mr. Heisig?
Yes.
Mr. Cannellican?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman?
Yes.
Mr. Koenig? Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Burbach?
Okay. Before the next item, I will let you guys know we did finish our 2019 impact report. Campus is printing them. I was hoping they would be here by this week, but they're not, so you'll get one in the mail, hopefully in the next 1 or 2 weeks. But when campus is printing them for free, you get them when you get them. So every day when a box comes, I'm hoping it's mine. But it kind of gives you a summary and highlights of programming that took place specifically in Jersey County and the other 3 counties that we serve within Unit 18. So the next item of business is voting on the agreement. The agreement is for the dollar amount that was requested during the budget, which was submitted back in August. It's only for $31,000. However, in the budget we submit for $31,700, but we always do the agreement amount for a little bit less, just in case that way you don't get all the tax monies that you hope to receive. On some exciting news, I guess you could say, we did finally receive all of our FY19 county board match from the state of Illinois. That last payment was received in the last 30 days, so it should be deposited in my Unit 18 trust account before the end of March. So we were completely paid county board match for FY19, which was July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. We've only received 50% of our funding for FY20, but still, considering there were a few years we got 0, we're really excited about that, and we are in the proposed budget for FY21. So at least on a positive note, we did get our county board match. There are 2 other line items that help support extension throughout the state, because we have an extension office in all 102 counties. Those are youth development funds and also Cook County Initiative, which, as you can assume, none of the Cook County money comes back into my unit, and they haven't been funded on that yet. And then the youth development money is used for special pilot programs. That line item hasn't been funded, but the one that impacts us the county board match was funded. So do you guys have any questions about that? So this agreement that's proposed in front of you is for what is our FY '21, which is July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, for the same amount that I've always requested my 8 years, and I'd have to do a little digging to find out how many years before that it was the same amount, so.
Any questions? This is something that we do each year. We adopt the budget and then later on we come in and request the money.
And these agreements are what they're able to submit and put together for the whole state when they go request that county board match, to show locally this is what's being put in. We try to get a dollar for dollar. The reality is it usually ends up around 65 cents on the dollar, which is what it ended up for FY '19. But for us, that was good.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Heitzik,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Heffernan. Any discussion? Questions? Call the roll.
Mr. Penelican?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonser?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman?
Yes.
Mr. Koenig? Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Kerback?
Yes.
Mr. Heitzik?
Yes.
Amanda, did you bring in the original documents?
Yes, I brought 4 original copies, and it's how many ever you need to sign, because I only need 1 original.
Okay.
I'll stay the whole night, so I can visit with you after.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hayes?
In front of you, there should be something in your packet that says Jersey County UTV side-by-side sticker permit ordinance. Grafton does a similar ordinance. It's $50 a year for a sticker. Jerseyville for golf carts, all they have to be on the roads is a front and back blinker. With this, we are not allowed to have them on state highways. We are only allowed to pass an ordinance for county roads. To be able to get it, they would need insurance, driver's license, and the vehicle must reach a speed of 40 miles per hour, along with additional stuff, as in headlights, turn signals, rear view mirror, side mirror, brakes, steering apparatus, tires. On here, I have tires, but that needs to be tires that are DOT approved, so that they're not what's called mud digger tires. Red reflection warning devices, front and rear, slow moving vehicle emblem on the rear, red light rear, visible up to 100 feet, brakes, seatbelts, and a horn. And of course they have to follow all rules of the road. And the permit will expire December 31st of every year. Besides Grafton does the sticker, Jerseyville is, I believe it's just in orange. Carrollton, Greenfield, Whitehall, and I think there's a few others around that do this. I really haven't decided, or won't let the board decide how much if we do this on sticker. Any questions?
Are we required by law to have a sticker, or are they just required by law to have those items?
These items are more of a safety issue.
I thought the state of Illinois passed a law for us that we could use, am I mistaken there, Sheriff? That we could drive them on county roads without being on a highway? I mean, I knew we couldn't be on the highway with them, but wasn't there a law passed a couple of years ago that
Just
allowed
have a
for?
slow-moving vehicle sign in the use of husbandry.
farm going to the field or whatever like that.
Oh.
Can't drive it on a county road for
Okay,
pleasure.
then it was farm use, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, okay. I remember that now, thanks. I was trying to remember, don't charge them if it's already in law, but I get it, Jared, thanks.
One item I would draw your attention to was from the County Board Association on their capital, counties at the capital there on page 5 of 12. There was introduced earlier this year, House Bill 4767 by Representative Windforest. It's non-highway vehicle person. This is what's been introduced, and it's been referred to the Rules Committee. The substance of the bill is a person may operate a non-highway vehicle on a roadway with a speed limit of 55 miles per hour or less, rather than the 35 miles per hour or less. That's currently, is that not currently the,
That's current state
standard.
statute, yeah, 35 miles an hour, that's correct.
if the roadway is not a state highway, federal highway, or within the boundaries of an incorporated area. So, as I said, it's been referred to rules, which is generally the place where legislation goes to die. But,
I would question if there's a conflict with traveling over 25 mile an hour with a slow moving vehicle sign. I thought there was something somewhere where they're not supposed to be used on a faster vehicle. I don't know though for sure.
I just know some can probably only go 45. That's just why.
Well, to me, 40 mile an hour is too dang fast to ride a four-wheeler down the road anyway.
This ain't a four-wheeler, this is.
Well, it's a side-by-side, which is a four-wheeler with a white seat. It's the same motor.
would the County Services and Public Safety Committee like to take a look at the basis of the idea, check with the sheriff and any other resources that deem necessary to at least see whether this is an idea that fits within the bounds of the county?
Okay.
Jared, was there anything else?
Unless anybody else have any other questions?
Well, Mr. Hayes brought it up to me. I promised to allow him to give him a hearing. Any idea deserves some hearing, so I hope he got at least an initial satisfaction on it, but if the Public Safety Committee would take a look at it and bring back a report or future, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Nancy Miller.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lacey Miller. I work for Illinois Valley Economic Development Corporation. And the reason I'm here tonight is because we are the operator and administrator of the FTA and Illinois Department of Transportation funds through Jersey County to support the three-county area of Jersey, Greene, and Calhoun with rural public transportation. Tonight I have a few things that require board approval. The first one is a resolution grant agreement from the board. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, but it is in,
Which one is it?
it is the one that says page 5 of 12. And it is basically asking for permission from the county to submit an application for the three counties on your behalf. A little bit of background, I believe this is our fourth full year from where we started. We have grown quite a bit. We started with very few vehicles. We now have 13 and are awaiting 3 more from the state of Illinois that should be delivered sometime between spring and fall. And that is from 2018. They will not have a CDBG grant this year. State of Illinois has not been completely fulfilled all of their GATA requirements for that grant. But as of earlier this month at a conference, they should have it again for next year. So hopefully next year we can apply for that grant to get more vehicles in the three-county area. Just a little bit of background on what Tri-County does. We do public transportation for the three counties. It's for anybody. We take seniors, we take children, we take students to Lewis and Clark. We do all kinds of trips, recreational, medical, shopping. We do all of that. We have greatly expanded. We just recently in February extended our hours from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We were 8:30 to 4:30, and we're starting to see a lot more use in those areas. They don't have a whole lot of data since we just started it in February, but we truly are busy and truly are growing. We've expanded our staff from 13 to 19 from the last fiscal year, and we're hoping that with more usage and growth that can just continue to grow. I kind of wanted to give you kind of a rundown of what we did last year that I feel is important. We were able to complete 22,170 rides, and that was for all three counties. Jersey County is our biggest county. That is where we do the majority of our trips, but we also did almost 3,000 in Greene County and almost 1,200 in Calhoun County. And if you consider the square miles that is, we are running quite a bit. We were also to reach out to 485 separate individuals last year. And I believe the number before that was under 300. So I believe we have doubled the amount of people that we've been able to take. I'm not sure what all you want to know from us. I can tell you that the last quarter of this year, which was October through December, we did 7,175 rides in the three-county area. We are very privileged to run this program. We are very proud of our program and want to see it continue to grow. Just wanted to give you a little background of what you're approving and why you're approving it. We have several people that depend on us for transportation. We do a lot of dialysis transportation. We have a lot of people that call us for their mother or their father because they need a break or they need somebody else to do it so they don't have to take off work. So it is a very much needed program. I hope that it continues to grow. And I don't know, do you guys have any questions before I move forward? Like I said, I'm really proud of the program. I've been here since it started 4 years ago, and we went from, I think there was 4 of us at the beginning to now there's 19, and we are busy. So very proud of where we are and really proud of where we're looking to go in the future. So, but like I said, this first one is on page 5 of 12, and it is basically asking for your permission for us to submit the grant on behalf of Jersey County for the three-county area. We don't ask for any tax money or any money from the county. We use local match, and it's a reimbursement program from the state of Illinois and Federal Department of Transportation. So it is at no cost to the county.
The resolution authorizing execution and amendment of section 5311 grant agreement is what we'll be voting on. Any questions? Motion by Mr. Second by Mr. Canalican. Do you have enough room for a roll call?
I'll make room.
Okay. Well, since it doesn't involve money from the county, all those in favor of adoption of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Applicant ordinance.
Motion.
Mr. Townsend, is there a second? Mr. Krueger. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, the next item is page 7 of 12, and this is the application of a special warranty, and that is just saying that we will follow all guidelines set therefore by 5311, which is the federal grant. And this is asking, as a condition of the funds, that we follow all protocols for funding, which are wonderful. And I will say that last year we had our first review from the actual state of Illinois came down. And the one thing that they said is that Illinois Valley, as an administrator and operator, has extremely sound financial policies and regulations. So that is something that really stands out for us. We have a very good fiscal agent, and she does her job, and she makes sure that all of us do ours too. So I will say that, as far as people that have come on the outside looking in, they're very pleased with our financials and how we handle those. So I have no problem that we won't follow all of the items under this acceptance of the special warranty.
Is there a motion to adopt? Mr. Heitzik, second by Ms. Rayner. Any questions? All those in favor of adopting the acceptance of special warranty signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And if you look at page 12 of 12, I need board approval for the restrictions on lobbying. It's something that they want us to do, just saying that we will abide by their rules with lobbying. That if we were to pay any amount of money, that we would report that.
We do no lobbying.
We do no lobbying. So I just need your approval for that as well.
All right. Is there a motion to adopt the certification and there's restrictions on lobbying? Ms. Hefner. Second by Mr. Canali.
Okay, and the last one.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
You gotta
sorry,
vote.
sorry.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, now the last one. It's certifications and assurances.
What page is that?
This is page 1 of 2. Should say certifications and assurances at the top.
Not certain.
Did I forget to add it to the packet? I may have.
Certifications and assurances required of every applicant.
Yes. I might not have, because this is all of it. This whole,
Is this the front page?
that is the front page, yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. It'll be certifications and assurances.
So moved.
Good, you didn't make me go through it and give you all my highlights on it.
Didn't get a chance to do it. All right, motion by Mr. Krueger, seconded by Ms. Turbine. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thanks again for the opportunity to do this for the 3 counties. Something I didn't know that I would be as passionate about, but it's a wonderful job for me, and I think we are doing a good job and hoping to move forward and do some more. And on that note, Don had asked me earlier about reaching out to Greg Brayton at the Jersey County Veterans Assistance. Greg and I have met. We kind of talked about what we might be able to do for each other. We kind of wanted to go back our separate ways and kind of get some ideas from his side, what's allowable, and on my side, how other places have done it before. So we're going to meet again to see if we can come to some type of agreement where we can do a little bit more as far as helping out with the veterans. It is a need that we both see, and we want to work together on it. So.
If you may recall, I think when Mr. Kelly was here, one of the issues, or maybe in a conversation I had with you, one of the issues that was of concern with the VAC was HIPAA concerns, particularly if they're taking veterans to one of the VA hospital facilities. It's my understanding that Illinois Valley is
Yes.
trained in HIPAA.
Yep, we are required for HIPAA. We do Medicaid billing for those that have Medicaid and use Medicaid for trips. We're able to take that as a form of payment. And also, there's a third-party insurance that we take. On a side note, the Illinois Public Transportation Association is working with, there's a task force that's working with making all of those third-party insurance is easier for transportations to work with. So we currently we take Medicaid and Molina, which are some of the two. Meridian and the others are a little bit harder to deal with. So there's a task force to try to streamline that so that we can serve everybody with those insurance. So to stay tuned.
Yeah, we have to give a training to use it.
Yes. So we are HIPAA trained in order to provide those rights, so we would be covered for that. Thank you again for your time and the opportunity.
Thank you. Committee reports, Road and Bridge Committee, meeting of March 3rd, 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet is a petition for aid from English Township. It's out on Grafton Lane. He's got a 36-inch pipe culvert that he needs to replace out there. We've estimated a cost of approximately $4,800 to be split evenly between English Township and the county. So I'd ask for a motion to approve this petition for aid.
Mr. Kane, second by Mr. Canal. Any discussion, questions? Okay, call the roll on that, please.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
Mr. Tonser?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman? Yes. Mr. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Kerback? Mr. Heisig?
Yes.
Mr. Canalica?
Yes.
That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions of Tom before we cut him loose? All right. Thank you. Who made the second on the, I think it was Brian.
Brian.
Building and Grounds Subdivision and Land Use Committee, meetings of February 12th, 18th, and March 3rd.
We met February 12th, met with training. They gave a spiel on part of the third of three meetings to get something together to go with the request for proposals, and basically gave their spiel on what they can offer. So that's for the jail and slash courthouse, whatever they can provide, so.
And this should take care of the moisture, or is that a
This is
second?
part of that process, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The three that we've met with was Johnson Controls, Train, and CTS. And this is the third of three meetings with the three,
Okay.
so.
You need action?
I don't feel we do.
Okay.
That was just an up-to-date on that meeting. The second one would, with approval of sealed bids to demolish the building on county property. The low bid was from Grafton Material Services, and I'd like to put that in motion.
Okay, the amount, how much was it?
I don't know. What was it? It's in the meeting minutes, but, let's see there. Yeah. They were low bid at $3,250. The other two were $5,000 and $6,750.
So 3250, a little bit. And that's a recommendation?
That's a recommendation from the site.
All right. Brian, you made the motion?
Yes.
Okay, seconded by Wagner. Any discussion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. Tonser?
Yes.
Ms. Mossman? Yes. Mr. Koenig?
Yes.
Ms. Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairman Little?
Yes.
Mr. Krueger?
Yes.
Ms. Kerback? Mr. Heisig?
Yes.
Mr. Canalica?
Yes.
Ms. Drainer?
Yes.
When will they start work on it? Brian, do you know? How soon?
It won't be too long.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be, sealed bid to demolish a mobile home located on county property, which is in Spanky. And I'd like to put that as a motion for approval.
All right, motion by Mr. Canal, motion. All right, now, Mr. Wagner. Any discussion, questions?
That we're voting to
To,
prepare a request for proposal?
yes, actually, yes, yes, exactly, because we've actually got some input from state's attorney on it, and we are going to meet again to finalize that request for proposal form, so we can send it out for a bid.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to table until next month because we're still waiting on one township regarding the intergovernmental agreements. I think we've got 3 or 4, but I'd like to take care of the all at once. So, and I've talked to Ms. Perry, the supervisor of assessments, and she said holding it over until April will not pose a problem. Chairman's report. Okay, drug policy. It's been drafted by the HR consultant with the County Board Association, has been farmed out to the 4 bargaining unit groups, not only the members of each bargaining unit, but also the business agents and the shop stewards. Of steel workers, the business agent, Mr. Smith, has requested to have the privilege of at least addressing some questions on the proposed drug policy, so I'm waiting for him to formulate the questions. The Teamsters and the laborers, Teamsters represent the 911 dispatchers. Had a discussion with Mr. Bollinger. He ultimately said that he had no problem with it. Received nothing from any of the shop steward or any of the employees within the 911 section. The shop steward, Mr. McDonald, with the laborers, he has indicated that he has no problem with it, although some of the issues may, federal regulations on CDL licenses are a little more stringent than what's the drug policy, but other than that, he has no problem with it. I have received a letter from the Policemen's Benevolent and Protective Association Labor Committee, Mr. Parker. He has raised an objection. It's his position that a particular section of the existing bargaining unit contract addresses it, and they're not willing to add any additional language except during bargaining time, which that contract expires on November 30th of this year. I will be inviting Mr. Parker and that particular bargaining unit to engage in discussions as soon as possible, and we can flesh this out a little more. At this point, I will probably be bringing this up yet again to this board to adopt a policy with regards to the Teamsters, and assuming that we get all the questions answered by the steelworkers bargaining agent or business agent, and the laborers bring that up and establish that policy for those 3 groups. I have looked at the contract with the PD, Policemen's Benevolent Group. I can see his position there as far as the language in the contract, but we may want to do some additional language if possible. So that's information on that. Item B, at the West Central Development Council meeting on February 20th, the issue of future updates to the comprehensive economic development strategy document currently under development with the 6 counties working with JEDC was brought up for discussion. A usable SEDS with a shelf life is anticipated by June of 2020. I was told it would be doubtful that the West Central group would be in a position to update the document as currently constituted. West Central is also no longer in the business of doing community development block grants. I learned that they're no longer collecting or seeking to collect dues, which, but more importantly, they can't do community development block grants because the state has determined that they need a community developer or a community planner in order to draft a block grant application, and they don't have anyone on the staff with that qualifications. I've also been in contact with Sherry Holbert with the JDC. She is advised that the DCEO, which is the funding entity for block grants, has issued information on the availability of the CDBG funds, but unfortunately communities within the West Central Development Council area would have to provide upfront costs to the grant writer due to the disqualification of West Central to provide that particular service. So we may need to reconstitute a new entity in order to get this done. Gary, you have the same look on your face that I did whenever I was given this information.
We've been supporting a entity that's under the thumb of the state, so now the state is punishing us because they didn't oversee West Central.
I see your point. I raised the additional question of if they're not doing block grants, because I noticed normally they would have block grant activity in their meeting packets every other month whenever West Central meets, but there was nothing there. Says do we not have any community development block grants in the works there? No. Why not? And that's when I was given they don't have a community planner certified staffer to do that. I then asked the question, well, what are we doing? Why are we still in business? What is the group, the 6 county group doing or receiving other than meeting every other month?
Well, it's free pizza.
So I just wanted to bring this up to you. We're not paying dues anymore and have not been paying dues for the last 2 years because of the issues raised with that group. But it's still disconcerting. So we're going to have to find another outlet for any community development block grants, like what was allocated to Netwood for the pump replacement of over $360,000.
Are we going to be able to put together a viable alternative at a reasonable cost?
Well, with the realization that, for instance, Hennigan has been approached in the past by Calhoun County for grant writing services, we could possibly contract with them. They do block grant writing with some degree of regularity. However, you then have to come up with upfront costs that would have been covered by the dues that counties were paying to West Central.
Well, the city has a qualified person now in their employ with Mr. Mans, don't they?
I'm not certain whether Bob has that qualification, but if he doesn't, I'd be very surprised, so we may want to see if there's a partnership that can be had. Not only for Jersey County, but every municipality that would,
I would ask that you or Sandy explore that possibility.
all right, we'll do that. Finally, subject matter, on February 27th, I attended a flood preparedness meeting that was sponsored by the Army Corps of Engineers at the Price Dam Visitor Center in Alton. Larry Mead was also there, as well as numerous other local and state representatives. Simply stated, the existing snowpack up north, as well as the level of ground saturation, and I'm not saying anything that everyone else doesn't know here, but if there is a bright spot here, they're only expecting moderate flooding along the Mississippi areas and minor flooding along the Illinois River areas. However, should we have additional rain, and that can change from moderate to more than moderate, and from minor to more than minor. They're expecting it, the Weather Service is expecting some flooding. It's just a matter of what and how much. So much for the obvious. The animal control report for February 2020 is in your packet. Is there a motion to accept the report as presented and placed on file? Mr. Hayes. Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Canali. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and the minutes for the county board committees for the month of February 2020. Road and Bridge on February 4th, tourism, February 7th, claims, February 11th, county service, office and public safety, February 4th, building and grounds, subdivision and land use, February 12th, building and grounds, subdivision and land use, February 18th. Is there a motion to accept those minutes? Ms. Hefner. Second by Mr. King. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The only other items to, at some point over the next month, Mary, is it possible for legislative to look at the variety of any closed meetings that are in existence, review them and see whether there's anything that can be open, or whether they remain as closed meetings? And the other thing for legislative, I know that you had mentioned something about a presentation from an individual with the state. Is it possible to maybe set up something relating to the cannabis regulations?
I did email him. It's Jeff Cox with the Department of Ag. He is the chief of the Medicinal Plants Bureau, and he is not returned my call, but I'll try again.
All right. Sheriff, did you have anything that you wanted to highlight?
No, sir, thank you.
How long before the vehicles, the trucks?
Check with the fleet, deputy that we got from traffic cars, we're somewhere in the line of 38 that they're trying to get done down there.
Okay.
That's just planned, so I'm sure emergency things come through, such as us, when the cars went out and had to run into Jacksonville, get it fixed, so it just takes a little time. We're working on it.
Okay, thank you. No need for a closed session. Is there any other Yes.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, Election Day, which is representative of American democracy, and more importantly, St. Patrick's Day, which is representative of civilization and the Irish. So, enjoy yourself, please vote. And is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Hayes, second by Mr. Koenig. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
We get to, no, I went in, I was right far.